We're installing a in-wall oven in an IKEA kitchen cabinet system, as well as a in-wall microwave oven. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Jared, and I spent about 6 months of every single free moment of my time outside of my regular 40-hour job completely renovating my kitchen from start to finish. This is episode 8, where we go ahead and install our appliances and everything into our tall IKEA kitchen cabinet system. So with that, let's get into it. When I started this, I started with one of the cabinet doors at the top. I did this for a reason that I'll tell you later, but these doors are amazing. The hinges are awesome. That's the degrees that it opens, the 125, and I dropped them on the floor. And these are awesome because all you have to do is just pop them in the holes that are pre-routed and snap down the top, and it pushes out on the sides and locks it in place. So these are super easy to install and you can't mess them up. So here I was just testing where the door would fit, so that way I could mark where the hardware goes. Hardware is what the hinges lock into. The hardware is super simple and self-explanatory. They actually have little arrows showing you which way to put this hardware in, and there's a little arrow pointing out, and you put it out. And then you just screw it down. When the hardware is installed on the door and then on the cabinet, all you have to do is just kind of snap them in place like this. Right here is the upper shelf that I'm going to put in the top of the cabinet. And all the shelves come separate because it depends on how you configure your cabinet. The instructions come with all the measurements you need, but I did a dry fit. So I went ahead and put the oven in and the shelves in and the doors in to really understand how it was all going together before I built everything and finalized everything. The oven comes with these plastic feet that the oven rests on, and depending on your configuration, you may need to put them horizontally or vertically, just depends on how much space you need. So I learned that mine needed to be vertical, so I just flipped them and put it in the other screw hole. Once the feet are on, it's time to install this thing, and it does say that it's a two-person job, but I don't always have two people around, so I made sure that I had a solution. I just had an old chair that had the back off of it. Maybe you could use a stool or something, but get it to that height, put it up there, and then you can slide it around, maneuver it, and just basically just slide it in so you're not carrying the whole weight of it while you're trying to put it in. Worked really well for me. Next, I went ahead and installed this little face board. It just fills the gap between the oven and the next shelf. All you have to do is put some angle brackets on the face board and then attach that to the inside of the cabinet.
Don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Get on board. We're soaring on top of the
Once again, I used a drywall screw to give me a little bit of a pre-drilled hole. You could do this with a drill or with, maybe a hole punch, which is what I should be using, but this is all I had. If you get a chance, check out the links in the description. They can help you with some of the tools that I used and some of the supplies and things like that. So it's down there if you need it. Now I'm just drilling some holes for the cord for the microwave to run to the wall to an existing outlet in the cabinet next to this cabinet. The microwave sits on these little slides, and I think it's so that way it can slide in and out, and that it's also not sitting directly on that shelf. And you just peel the backer off the back and just make sure they're straight and in line when you're putting them in. That's it. The microwave comes with these brackets, and depending on how wide your cabinet is, you may need them, you may not. In my case, I did need them. So I just had to put them together and attach them to the microwave. And that's how the microwave would mount in the cabinet. If you're finding things useful or helpful in any way or entertaining, hey, give me a like, subscribe so that way you can see all of them, and I appreciate it. So now that this is ready to install, I did the same thing I did last time. I actually used the microwave cart with a microwave on it, with a microwave on top of it to install the microwave. Kind of silly, but it worked. And the microwave cart was great because it had wheels, so I could wheel it around. And then again, it was basically just kind of slide it into place instead of trying to lift it and shove it in. So it was just easier this way. Next, I took a 7/64 drill bit and pre-drilled the holes where the microwave would mount and then screwed it in. Now, because of the large gap, it comes with these filler pieces that you just kind of place in there and then go ahead and screw them down. Next, I mounted up the oven. They had these weird little plastic locking pieces that go in the hole of the oven. And then the screw went through that. And then into the cabinet. Okay, now this is the two pieces that kind of are supposed to be screwed together that help direct the hot air from the bottom of the oven more outwards instead of less down. And it also kind of fills that gap and makes it look nice. But man, I struggled trying to get these pieces of metal together with these screws. It was really weird and it kept falling apart until I put screws in on the other side. Then that kind of created enough tension on both the screw threads on both sides that it held in place. It was a little weird and kind of crappy. I didn't really like it, but in the end, it came together and looked pretty nice. Next is installing the oven door, which is kind of a strange process if you've never done it before. The oven doors are very, very heavy, and how it locks in is a little bit strange. There's actually a locking mechanism on the hinges that keeps it from sliding back out. Above the microwave was a little bit of a gap between the shelf and the microwave, and of course IKEA already had this figured out, and they sent this plastic piece that's flexible and it's got this sticky backer. You just peel it off and you stick it to the shelf and it helps fill that gap. And it's very simple to cut. You just go ahead and line it up, take your measurement, and then you can just cut it with scissors and then stick it on. Okay, we're just about done. This is just me putting together the last cabinet door at the top, plugging the hinges in, snapping them in place, and went ahead and mounted the hardware on the inside of the cabinet to finish out the top. Next, I installed these little sticker bumper things on the inside of the cabinet, so that way when you close the doors, they close nice. Now that everything was installed, it was time to pull off this protective film off the microwave and oven. All right, now that that's completed, it's time to work on that cabinet to the left of it, which is going to be a lot of drawers and doors and shelves. So check out how I did that in this video right here.